All right. So Stacy and I are going to role play how to do the quarterly assessment review with some of the documents in the supervision course.
There were still some areas, under radical behaviorism and the different types of behavior analysis that I was still struggling with a little bit. So I gave twos in those areas. But the basic underlying philosophical areas, I think I have down pretty well. So I gave threes in those areas.
The next component, the self-assessment, if you can kind of talk about what self-assessment you did, why you chose it, and then also just giving, a background of what you learned from doing the self-assessment.
Sure,
Because what we
absolutely.
know is that it's not just we need to be a great behavior analyst based on the task list, but we also need to constantly be developing our skills as just really good quality professionals.
Absolutely. So one of the areas that I feel like I don't have a great handle on, just because I live in an area that's not very culturally diverse. And when I think about different cultures, I'm trying to think about things outside of just race necessarily,
Yeah.
but different cultures in that, we have like the school culture and the family kind of home culture for our kids. And then, we just have all these different identities, I guess, going on that kind of come together in a school system. So I wanted to kind of take a look at where I was at and how I can improve my own just understanding of these areas. So
Yeah.
um, I found this cultural diversity awareness questionnaire just through a quick Google search, and was able to find a PDF able to say, yeah, I mean, sometimes if it's really outlandish, I will say something, but there are definitely times where I don't say something.
Yeah.
And until I had taken this, I never really thought about those situations. So um, just looking through, there were a couple actually that I had supervisor evaluation. So quarterly, just looking at the supervisor um, and supervisee relationship and how things that are going well and things that could be improved. So, as far as the supervision arrangement, our sessions are always, scheduled well in advance, and start and end on time, which I am very thankful for since I have, kids running around most days, and making sure that I can fit everything in. Put threes for, which are kind of like in the middle. Modeling technical skills, we haven't really gotten into that yet. So, like you had talked about doing role plays of things like functional analysis or preference assessments, or just being able to see some examples of those things, I think would be really helpful.
Okay.
Um, and then, when we're learning those new technical skills, having me practice those, through those role plays and getting your feedback on how to improve my own skills, I think would be really helpful.
Identify for your specific
Sure.
supervision experience. Um, so in your course, all of the syllabi will always be located under the pre-supervision information resources and podcast. So if you were taking 413, 513 next, or if you were taking 433, 533 next, the syllabi is going to be located in this content area. So with your supervisor, you would review, it kind of gives you an overview of all of the assignments that will be located in the portfolio and tracking system, so that we can really get that wraparound supervision experience. So in 413, 513, there's preference assessments. So if I, on my task list self-assessment, have identified that I don't have a lot of experience, or at least the application experience with preference assessments, then we could make a goal generated off of the preference assessments, getting more experience with them. You would, of course, want to make it measurable and observable and all of those components. So making sure that we have that wraparound supervision piece with the content area, but then also, as Stacy modeled, that we're always wanting to build some of the interpersonal skills as well, or just ourselves as professionals, so that your goals might also be something that has to do with some of those softer skills. So I want to focus on how I'm asking questions, or I want to focus on my active listening skills, or maybe I want to focus on my cultural bias, which is what Stacy kind of modeled for you. So there's the content piece, again, that we really want the wraparound supervision component of, if I'm really learning about preference assessments, it would make sense that I would go deeper into preference assessments. Or if I'm really learning about motivating operations and I find that on the syllabi, then I want to really dig deeper into the motivating operations. So going back, reviewing the syllabi, that again is located right in your module 2 within the portfolio and tracking system. Can sort of talk about it like Stacy and I did, and then do it however best fits your style. So some people would want to go ahead and generate a goal right now. Some people just want to talk about it and then make a goal that's measurable, observable, all of those components after the fact. And I think, Stacy, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like if you and I were actually identifying a goal, we would really be looking at the advanced concepts of ABA. And
Mhm.
then we would probably list out what those components would be. So I heard you say
Right.
like the functional analysis. What were some of the other things that you?
Uh, Compound schedules of reinforcement
Mhm.
was another area I wanted to focus on,
Right.
and some of the behavior change procedures.